nature, even after having a third bomb site seemingly unlocked in the Pro League. This is what we're going to be playing. So, FaZe starting out on attack, ENCE on defense. Kitchen Trophy Room going to be the first bomb site here. And it looks like we are going to have a good match as the GLHFs come out in the chat.
We don't have much out of the order here for ENCE in terms of their picks.
No, nor really FaZe. I mean, overall, it seems like a pretty predictable selection. Obviously, we don't have a Ying, which is kind of different. Not really. And
we do have an Ella.
We do have an Ella. So no one, we don't have to start panicking. There is an Ella on defense. Everyone relax. We actually saw, I think, a couple rounds yesterday. Can't remember the teams, can't remember the exact instances, but I feel like we had a couple rounds yesterday where Ella wasn't picked.
Yeah, EG actually played on the Consulate with Doc Rook combo instead of Ella.
Okay, I'm just saying, like, the Doc Rook combo, that was... Come on, that was like Season 2 strategy.
Well,
so
it didn't work.
You were there. That was confusing. But, you know, either way, yeah, it didn't work out for them. And we aren't going to be seeing that here from ENCE in this match. Now, Wilkie going to be opening up the wall, for the window in the main lobby just to throw out that camera, get that visual cue. This is a really nice... Oh, that's not a camera. That's a Mav's drone. I was about to say that looked like the Valkyrie cam, and she was just getting on it when we transitioned.
This is exactly what ENCE is so strong at on Chalet. They control the outside and the inside when they're on defense.
And that's it's essential, basically, because the nature of Chalet is that if you can't hold the top floor on defense, you're going to struggle holding the actual site. So if you can force the fight outside, or at least delay somewhat outside the attackers, you'll have a much better go of it in the latter end of the round.
We can go all the way back to Season 2 with ENCE, where they would almost spend as much time outside on Chalet as they would inside when they were on defense.
Yeah, and that's definitely, I think, a lot of people for some reason frown upon the idea of spawn peeking and things like that. But honestly, you know, you use what you can to make a win happen, no matter what. As long as it's within the rules, okay, you use what you can.
So everything's fair in love and war.
Yeah, exactly. Everything's fair in love. That's good. That's a good summary of it. Now, Astro inside of the west lobby, cameraman above, and it is going to yield some results as Uno is taken down via that buck. Now, that's some good angle work, but there is still a Cantoroketi on Ella, up by Chimney. Benare trying to come up from these west stairs, laying down some fire, hitting only bars, and that means the player inside of the bathroom, master bathroom that is, Moringa, will stay alive and continue to hold that flank. As we go into the later end of this round, only a minute left. Nothing has really happened apart from Uno getting dispatched early on. The lack of a C4 use from the Pulse is oh so crucial for ENCE. It's going to hurt them quite a lot.
But at least we are left with only a minute on the clock.
Absolutely. Some good delaying from ENCE. But this is pretty typical, I'd say, for an upstairs take on Chalet.
I do think as long as Smoke is alive and Ella is alive, it's still very, very dangerous for them to push in.
Absolutely right. We'll see if Kanto is actually able to make any work happen. There is a flank hold, constant flank hold from FaZe, so he hasn't had the opportunity to push out of Chimney. He's also, I think, FaZe is aware of his position, at least the Jaeger instead of Dining. And because of that, they're being overly cautious. As we wind down to the last 26 seconds of this round, FaZe with a one-man advantage are going to make that a two-man advantage, eliminating Panare, who was roaming downstairs. Still one roamer in Kanto, but he's upstairs just now starting his push. And B bomb site control is in favor of FaZe. As Boonsey unable to get any work done whatsoever, the entire FaZe roster will vault through the windows, leaving one only upstairs. Cantoroketi going back for a retake, not going to happen, and Wilkie bites the dust. Astro with a fantastic round, I believe getting at least a 4K. Look at that. Well done, Astro, picking apart the ENCE defense one player at a time.
Yeah, so when we're talking about what FaZe would need to take ENCE on a map like Chalet, maybe they just need an Astra.
It's I mean, that's all they needed in this round, to be honest. He kind of just swooped in upstairs, started dealing with the roamers, then he went through the west lobby doorway, and oh no, the anchors aren't fighting back. Kind of an odd circumstance.
Here we see, like, this is the FaZe playstyle, right? He would wait at west main stairs for almost a minute, and then think, I'm gonna walk in now. And then he walks and kills Smoke and Trophy, which then you've got full map control.
Yeah, and I think while the 4K from Astro was definitely substantial, you also have to keep in mind that earlier we had that Buck take Uno down, and I want to say that was Cameraman, but the importance of it's not just one player. The importance
no, it
of
never is.
It never is, right. The heartbeat detector from the Pulse was what really hampered the ENCE defense, in my opinion. The lack of it, that is. Also, not having his C4 be even remotely useful, that's a crucial thing for FaZe to be able to freely move around upstairs without the worry of being blown up from below.
Especially when the entire floor and master bedroom is open, right?
Exactly.
You can't go back into kitchen from dining, so you only have the hallway left unless you have that Pulse or a Valkyrie cam to check.
And here you can see Gohan is actually going to be playing inside of that kitchen. Same position Uno had, for the exact same reason. So much information to be gathered, as well the potential of a C4 coming from below and getting an attacker. Maybe even Habana before she opens the drop. That's happened before. It could happen again. Going to be a slow round here for ENCE. They're going to attempt to clear out the library. Moringa, though, holding fast inside of the library, going to fall. Actually, as I say that, he will fall back to the main lobby and go all the way down into the basement.
I think it's worth to note here that we see a roaming smoke. That is very, very rare. It can work out immensely well for your team, but it can also be literally throwing 40 seconds away.
We'll see what it is for FaZe, but judging by Moringa's caution and his immediate default away from the roam clear, I think he's conscious of that and doesn't want to let it happen.
Yeah.
In that case, though, you have to question why he was roaming in the first place, because we got to be honest, he didn't waste any time at all. Boonsey going to take out Astro, and that's the Ella done and dusted, so no need to worry about losing a gunshot to someone with 40 bullets and a ridiculous rate of fire. Now, Cantor Ketty at Chimney going to drop the diffuser because he's likely to go on a flank watch / late push through that dining table doorway. Meanwhile, we do have a roamer downstairs in Mav. He's going to be playing that Valkyrie. Good C4 position, I suppose, if he goes for a run out, could maybe stop a B window push. And there's a C4 from Cameraman, not Mav, but the C4 from the Mira, rather, is going to yield a kill onto the Habana. And she's going to be in her in a weird stance. So, leading into this round, 50 seconds to go, 4 versus 4. It's still anyone's game, really.
It's still rather confusing having this smoke not back yet on site.
Here comes the push into dining. No one here to actually hold this right now, but the C4 from Mav from below, using the drop down, is not going to hit. Kanto, as a result, will stay alive and take out Gohan before being down from the west hallway. Smoke gets a shotgun kill onto Uno, so not only a down, but also a kill. Moringa, though, has been refragged. Good job from Wilkie, and we are going to see Cantor Kitty get picked back up. Getting lit up, though, as he comes back up by Cameraman, who has broken his own mirror window. Before being eliminated by Boonsey, it's all down to Mavno in a 1-on-3. He's going to get a headshot onto Boonsey. Can he get 2 more? 8 seconds left to go. Cantor Ketty has the diffuser. Mav gets a second. Can he get the third? Cantor's going to go for the peek. He's not trying to plant. He's going to retreat down west stairs. And oh no! Defenders win round 2! What is this? Mav with an excellent clutch. You can see he's the second from the farthest there player. And he's got to be ecstatic after that win. What a throw from ENCE, though.
Yeah, but we're seeing amazing play from FaZe. So the mirror window in Trophy, looking out to West Main, not that special, but when you open up the wall like they did, so you can shoot people in dining from Trophy, that's another thing. If they don't put any pressure on West Main at all, you can easily open that mirror window. It's not going to be any threat to you. And all of a sudden, you have this player that normally can't safely look into dining, be able to shoot them planting.
You know, honestly, the main thing for me is just, you gotta, ENCE got super spread out. They knew the last player was inside of West Lobby when it was a 2 versus 1. So if they had simply consolidated instead of trying to push him and planted the diffuser, it would have been a win. I wholeheartedly believe that. It would have been so simple to do that too. All you need to do is wait for the push from West Lobby. The map has no other option. He cannot do anything else in that circumstance.
Plus, you could argue that when you see a smoke off-site, maybe you should cover the rotates back to site.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, not only was smoke off-site, you had 3 roamers, I believe. Yeah, so that was a very heavy roam strategy, and eventually ENCE did go through the B window, but...
I mean, I guess you can argue that Smoke is able to, below Dining Hatch, smoke off the sandwich door, and he could also smoke off West Main from Car Garage, but it's...
I mean,
it's definitely not ideal.
We had Mav trying to C4 the sandwich door through the drop. Yeah. So, and he came close. He lit up Cantor Ikedi, but ultimately he did not get the kill. Again, allowing Gohan to be taken out by Cantor Ikedi inside of Dining. So, just questionable all around, not only from ENCE esports in the last couple seconds of the round, but also from FaZe in their initial defense. It was so dynamic, it doesn't even fit on Chalet. So it's I wonder how it even worked. Mav, with that excellent clutch, going to follow it up with the early frag, eliminating Cantor Ikedi on that Ella, one of the most impactful kills he possibly could have gotten, and he got it by kneeling the front door and looking up. So, caught out of guard there.
While Cancel playing in a position where he can actually see over the door barricade.
Yeah, if you vault off of the railing inside of the main lobby onto that freezer, or just the gigantic metal thing in main lobby, and you stand on top of that, there's a little line, a little slit, where you can even get really easy kill as the attacker approaches that front door. It's pretty simple. I mean, it's really easy. In this case, it would have actually worked for Kanto, but he didn't do that. So Astro going to get the second kill this round. Uno going down, and it's a very early triple kill for FaZe as Gohan takes out Wilkie. What is happening here? Denari moving into the master hallway very brashly will get a kill, but it doesn't matter. Gohan gets his second, Moringa gets his first, and it's over for ENCE just like that.
FaZe are shutting down and proving everyone wrong right now on Chalet.
Absolutely. Well, at least you and I, that's for sure. We were thinking, at least, you know, that it was going to be a Chalet going in favor of ENCE because this is their map, but...
I definitely saw FaZe take a few rounds. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't see them do this.
This isn't just a couple rounds in the beginning and ENCE will wake up later.
They're dominating right now.
This is, yeah, absolute domination. And I don't know if ENCE is capable of coming back from this because it does look a little bit like FaZe is kind of...
Yeah. And this is not because, you know, they have a new player and...
No.
ENCE have played with a lot of different players on Chalet.
Their new player top fragged yesterday.
And their new player was doing an amazing job. The new player, by the way, being Uno, doing an absolutely amazing job yesterday. So this is not why. FaZe is just, they've got something here.
Yeah, FaZe is outplaying. One thing I want to touch on, I kind of remarked on it earlier. FaZe, the way they're playing on Chalet, is counter to Chalet. And what I mean by that is that it is not, their gameplay is not rigid at all. And that's typical FaZe, right? Of course, you'd expect that. But what I'm saying is they're not conforming to the map. And that is very odd because this is one of the more rigid maps out there. It's not quite Clubhouse, but it's definitely a rigid map. It's the sort of thing that falls into predictability at times.
Yeah, they seem to fully ignore rules and meta.
Exactly. I mean, Mav, he just broke the front door and killed Kanto in the first 40 seconds of the... What?
Yeah,
no.
You never see that happening.
Yeah, and so they're not conforming. They're not going into the predictable, you know, Chalet
they
routine.
wrote with smoke. You don't do that.
What is that? ENCE, on the other hand, doing very predictable things, opening up this snowmobile garage, trying to clear out from library at the same time, and I think that's playing against them. You have to wonder, will ENCE at some point detect the fact that FaZe is just doing whatever the heck they want to do, and maybe start trying to do the same? Can they play FaZe's game, though? That's the question.
Well, the problem is when you're known for being this good at Chalet, what do you do? Where do you go to? What do you look at when you're down 3-0?
Absolutely a good question. Amazingly, Uno on his drone is caught in an animation as Moringa pushes up the west lobby stairs. There were three ENCE teammates that could have saved Uno there, but didn't. Luckily, Wilkie will get the refrag, but geez, you gotta cover the stairs until you've actually droned it out. Come on, ENCE. It's kind of worrisome that they're not going to be in a position to do that, but whatever. You know, it happens. 4-4 now as Moringa bites the dust, and there is control over back hall in favor of the attack in ENCE. So they have something to work with, as well as...
at least smoke is out of play.
That's
so now
another thing.
They can actually get onto the site if they don't get shot.
Yeah, so no need to worry about the delay coming from the smoke. All of the control in terms of lanes opened up, the drop down in bar, the snowmobile garage, disabling the mirror window now. Everything's going in ENCE's favor. The question is, will it work for them? Because we've seen some pretty unconventional things from FaZe, and we've seen some pretty unconventional comebacks in that clutch from Mav, so can they replicate that here? Pushing into the back hallway, Mav will eliminate Kantaraketi, and that's control that ENCE gained and simply lost to an aggressive push from an Ela. Catching the Claymore and also will eliminate Wilkie. Astro, an amazing play there. Some great fidelity from that player. Panari and Boonsi now the last two attackers in what seemed like a round that was shaping up to be all ENCE is slipping away. Boonsi though, whoa, letting go. A quick double kill takes down Gohan and Mav. What a flick. Now he's stuck in a 1-on-2 though. He's gonna have to retrieve the diffuser inside of main lobby. If there's anyone who can do it on this team, it's Boonsi, one of the most level-headed players on all of ENCE. He's going to need to find Astro on the main lobby stairs first, but he will not. Astro with a nice shot there, eliminates Boonsi and puts it into a 4-0 match point right off the bat.
Gotta give a lot of credit to Bouncy for almost, well, not almost, but that was a really good push.
You know what that was? That was Boonsi letting go. I was talking about it earlier. I was wondering, do you think ENCE is capable of figuring out what they need to do is just shift W? Because that's working for FaZe right now.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't know if they can see this right now. When you're in a situation like this, and I'm sure you'd agree, you often get a bit clouded because you're confused about why you're losing this thing that you on paper are so much better at. When someone finally breaks you, it can be confusing to do it mid-round. And that's what some teams sometimes struggle a bit with.
So it seems like FaZe has really figured out ENCE esports, and Boonsi got a little bit of a hint there when he went just balls to the wall and rushed into connector, that what he needs to do is just kind of go for it. And you know, that's reminiscent a little bit there of the Season 6 finals, when that's exactly what they did. They went unpredictable, they went for the aggression, they did things that people couldn't possibly predict, and it worked for them. So hopefully they can keep that going. It almost won them around, but not quite.
I mean, when we compare attack rounds between ENCE and FaZe on this map so far, ENCE has been going in, they've been taking control of certain areas, they've gone to get the mirror window open, right? But everything seems like it's time-based. ENCE, or FaZe, sorry, they don't care. They take something, some part of the map, it changes, depends on, you know,
what
if they want to go in here or there.
Yeah.
Then they get a few kills, and they do this pulsating thing, which is so hard to read, because if you go and hunt them and try and fight back, you're out of luck. They're waiting for it.
Yeah, it was a beautiful job, or it's been a beautiful job by FaZe. And here we go, Wilkie with the run out. Not gonna work for him. Astro with the reaction speed. Gonna take down Wilkie. That, I expected Wilkie to win that. That's going to put ENCE in a bad spot, but they're actually, again, they have figured out what they need to do. They're just not executing it properly now. Be aggressive, take the opportunities, but somehow missing the shots at point blank. That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you want them to let go a bit, but not that much.
Yeah, it's a little bit much. So now FaZe looking to take control over Library. They have done just that, as the drones will tell. Kanto gets a refrag, but he has been double fragged by Gohan. So Kanto will not be any more use to ENCE in this round. And luckily, the Hibana was the one he managed to get. So good job there from Kantaraketi. He also dropped the diffuser, so it's going to be a little bit of time for Sledge to turn around and get that. But the main thing is a lack of hard destruction on FaZe's side. Question is, will that matter? Because I somehow doubt it will. With FaZe playing the way they are right now, I don't think it's going to make a difference.
Let's be fair, it doesn't seem like FaZe has been winning because of gacha juice.
No, exactly. You mentioned it earlier. ENCE is doing the typical Chalet stuff. They're opening the angles, they're doing the strategies. FaZe is just going in and killing things. Mav, on that note, takes out Panari from, it looks like he's on the main lobby balcony. Good job from him to deny that flank so cameraman can open up these holes. And it looks like it's slipped away for ENCE. But Uno gonna go for a very aggressive push up the main lobby stairs, see an enemy not able to get the kill. He has been droned out in the middle of this bomb site, forcing himself back into, whoa, Uno, what a shot. Astro bites the dust, and now it's a little bit more even. Only 45 seconds here for ENCE to delay this round. And Uno seems to know what he's up to. He's not getting scared. Boonsi, meanwhile, inside of A, laying down some fire through these two-way holes. And that's going to light up cameraman ever so much. Gas canister also going to do a little bit of damage, but not very much. Mav pushing down the main stairs will win the fight onto Uno. So it's all down to Boonsi now in a 1-on-3. He's the last chance for ENCE to win, or at least attempt to come back on this first map of the series. 14 seconds. Here comes the push. Can he kill the sledge? No, he cannot. Gohan wins the fight. Boonsy goes down, and FaZe win map number 1 in a 5-0 against most predictions. This is
not
ENCE's
what
map.
we expected.
What? Yeah, not what we expected. But that, I mean, that map was, that was ENCE's map. I mean, I don't care if FaZe picked it. That was ENCE's map.
Yeah.
And we've seen people try to counter-strat ENCE on that map before, but FaZe didn't counter-strat. They just ran in and won.
Could you argue that maybe one of the really strong things with FaZe right now is that they don't, like, sure, they're playing strats, but they're not playing, you know, point by point. They seem like we'll do a setup and then we'll just out-frag people. We'll spend all of our energy on, you know, better aim, better movement, more aggression. They're not worried about if this is the right thing to do or that is the right thing to do. They'll just go and fight.
Yeah, see, the thing is you want to look at FaZe and see what they did, and like, okay, this strategy was beautiful. I love the way they conducted it. It was like an orchestra, but it wasn't like an orchestra. It was like FaZe taking 5 sticks in each, you know, each of them one at a time and just beating on ENCE, and it was pretty graphic, to be honest. Like, it was scary.
It's one of the matches that are super hard to break down because there
FaZe
wasn't
didn't
much
execute
more
anything.
than no. It was brutal.
It was just, I hate to use the term because it's got a negative stigma, but they were shift Wing in a good way, in the best possible way, in an incremental way that ENCE could not predict nor counter because they were not equipped to do so.
And that's a very important thing, the incremental way. Because if you just go in and you try and keep that momentum, that's not going to work. You're spending way too much energy and you don't have any time in that fight where you get to reset, even just something as simple as reloading, right? You got to do that at some point. So them getting these kills, calming down, setting up, and then doing the exact same thing over and over again, it just doesn't seem like something that ENCE was ready for.
Yeah. So map number 2 is going to be Consulate. It's gonna favor FaZe. I can't after watching that, I can't be like, oh yeah, ENCE has got a chance. They're gonna come back here. No. Consulate plays into exactly what ENCE was FaZe was doing on Chalet. And here's the thing, what FaZe was doing on Chalet should not work. By the grounds of the map itself, it should not work. But now, apparently, we're going to be going on Oregon. Looks like the graphic earlier may have been wrong, or we made a mistake, whatever the case. Oregon's pretty much the same as Consulate in a sense. It's a little bit more static. It doesn't matter to me. I don't think... graphic apparently was correct. We were wrong. So it doesn't really matter too terribly much. Either way, dynamic map, more so than Chalet, a little bit more rigid than Consulate. Either way, FaZe looking strong going into this.
Let's be fair. Their gameplay on this is... It might even be easier because there's less flanks you can come from. The rotates aren't as clear and as fast as you have on Consulate. Seeing as the map is smaller, every time they take a break here, there just isn't any way to flank you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I'm worried for ENCE. I'm super worried for ENCE. The thing is they seem to start waking up on the latter end of that map towards the last 2 rounds. You know, they started going for these crazy aggressive pushes. They're like, hey, if nothing else is working, let's try this. And it almost did.
But getting 5-0, I know there's a big difference between 5-0s, right? You can have the ones where you're basically getting stomped. You can have the ones where everything turns into 1v1. But there's some emotional and mental stuff with that, especially when it's the one map that everyone believes you're going to win. Yeah.
And now on Oregon, a map that I think is going to through and through favor FaZe. It's worrisome, definitely. Now, keep in mind, I don't believe this is the end of the world if ENCE will lose this match. They still have, excuse me, bit of voice crack there. They still have, I believe, another chance to continue on in the Invitational. So, not facing elimination, but definitely going to hurt the pride a lot here for ENCE.
With our system, you have to lose 2 games to be out. And so far, they won against Era. They do have another chance if this doesn't go their way.
So, FaZe clearing out the west side. Not much going on over there from ENCE other than Kanto inside of Big Kid's dorm. going to be waiting for that push. Wilkie actually here to support him, using the Boz G as well, similar to FaZe. He will be going for that slightly more dynamic role from Vigil. Pre-fire from Astro, expecting Vigil to be in the hallway, but he has moved. Downstairs, Ash is in the kitchen. Cameraman takes down Kanto. A little bit of a belated fight there from Camera as he was attempting a reload, but manages to get the gun up in time. That leaves Astro upstairs, still trying to deal with Wilkie, who is roaming over in the, I believe that's the armory right now. He's actually peeking the hallway. He goes for that peek. He's not able to secure the kill, and Astro will frag him down, leaving ENCE now in a 3-on-5.
And the Boshi being such a scary weapon to push, because at that range, if you get hit in the arm, you're dead.
That's a very dangerous thing, that's for sure, but it's beside the point, really, because it didn't accomplish anything, as the pistol was the one that Wilkie was choosing to use in that engagement. So, we only have a minute left, and FaZe hasn't done anything other than clear the roamers, but they look really, really in control of this round, similar to the earlier map. Astro going to be holding this Pulse push probably for a pretty long time in this round. As soon as he gets the information that Pulse is there, someone will lock that down and never look off of it. But Uno, with the C4, takes out Astro. Good job from him to try and even this somewhat.
Still a fair amount of time left. 2 smoke grenades left on defense side.
And here come those Capital bolts as well as some flashbangs. The plant is being put down in the laundry, but it's not actually going to go because of the gas canister. Well done from Boonsy there to delay that somewhat. It's not going to matter though. Moringa will eventually get it towards the stairs. Boonsy takes Cameraman down. Mav gets the refrag, but it's not going to matter in the end because we do have ENCE on a retake. Uno, what a shot. Moringa bites the dust. Boonsy from below. Mav's down. It's all down to Gohak. What happened? FaZe is going to get one more. Gohan eliminates Uno, and it's a 1v1. Boonsy versus Gohan. Plenty of time for Boonsy to play this smart. He doesn't know exactly where Gohan is. He knows he's in meeting hall, but he peeks the wrong angle. Shift W's in, and Gohan is ready. Wins the round for FaZe, and that is still no round wins at all in this best of 3 for ENCE. What do you think about that round, Zeronic? How did that fall so out of favor for ENCE?
I think right now they're just what do we say? A little bit demoralized, maybe. FaZe still just, there wasn't too much in it, right? It wasn't this strategical mastermind thing. They walked in, they just took the fight. They were 2 guys stacking up with Wilkie playing the Bus G in the hallway, and then sure he chose to use the pistol later, but they're not afraid. They're just pushing.
Absolutely right. And it comes down, for me, it's just the fact that the roam clear was so decisive and early into the round. There wasn't a lot of thought put into it. Seemingly, it just kind of came naturally to FaZe. And that's the thing, is ENCE is playing this rigid style that we've seen from them time and time again, strat heavy and, you know, reliant upon expectation. FaZe, on the other hand, they just know each other so well.
Yeah, it easily becomes, I don't know, it can sound kind of like they're not playing a strat, or, you know, they're not playing the game the right way.
They kind of are.
Yeah, they definitely are playing a strat, but they are playing super loose. They just have synergy, a lot of teamwork, they know each other well, and seeing as they know the map so well, they don't have to have route and exact things to do. They'll just adapt on the fly, and then as long as they win their gunfights, they don't need to overcomplicate anything.
You know, when you've been playing together as long as FaZe, sometimes things like this can fall into place, but the thing is, ENCE has been playing together even longer.
Yeah.
That's the really confusing thing for me.
I think they've always been 2 very different teams in terms of playstyle, right? Because ENCE do like having these, not going to say strict strats, because Wilkie is a really good in-game leader, and he does leave a lot to his players in terms of what they're allowed to do.
Yeah, he's definitely a good one. I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. You would expect him to be a pretty proficient IGL after, I think he's the oldest IGL in the game. Like, not in terms of pure age, not literal age, but in terms of experience. So he's been around for a long time. ENCE struggling to clear out this west side roam. They have dealt with the mirror window thanks to Uno. Good job from him on that Twitch drone. But that's not all of this roam. There is still plenty of defenders positioned over by Armory. You've got Moringa with this reinforced. I like this setup here. He can hold below as well as the hallway because of this. And
It's worth mentioning as well that when we look at FaZe, in terms of individual play, you often see, you know, a few micro mistakes. It's things that when you're in hindsight and you're watching from above, you can see that was a bad choice. It's very, very difficult to find that on FaZe.
Yeah. Logic Bob gonna come out from ENCE, as they have brought the Dokabi, which is an odd choice here on this map. Astra's gonna eliminate Boonsy, so already in this round looking pretty bad for ENCE as Moringa gets a second one onto Kanto. Mav, Panari, and the last one is gonna be Wilkie as Uno gets taken down from Moringa. Wilkie will get a kill though, so at least it wasn't a perfect round for FaZe, but not really much to talk about. They inched their way into the west side of the building and then died.
Yeah, and FaZe only ever really moving to get closer to the attackers.
Are we gonna see a 10-0?
Friends, I really hope not.
I really hope not too. That would be just honestly disheartening. I thought this was gonna be one of the best matches of the day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you look at it on the paper, it definitely should have been, right?
But no, decidedly one-sided for FaZe. ENCE unable to catch their breath, drowning in this match.
Although, I mean, no matter the score, FaZe definitely showing something really interesting. And if they can bring this to the main stage, wherever they might be fighting.
You know, I'm a little worried that FaZe might be using too many of their strategies, as in terms of like the things that they like to do to win match. Like, not necessarily strategies, individual play performance, like what they're doing. I feel like they're using too many of the tricks they have in their pocket, and whoever gets against them in the final is going to go back to the spot and be like, oof, look at this, we should avoid this, or ooh, we can counter this. And
100%.
So I think they overestimated ENCE, at least that much is clear from at this point, and they could have used much less. You know, I think the most conservative team in all of Rainbow Six when it comes to holding and reserving strategies for the moment where they're necessary is Penta. And FaZe, on the other hand, maybe a little bit over-enthusiastic. So
it's always a fine line, right? Because you don't want to conserve it so much that you jeopardize losing.
Yeah, but they're not going to lose here.
No, exactly.
Yeah, I think at this point they're probably going to say, okay, let's go ahead and just play the normal game now. I think actually after that 5-0, they probably already said that. And while I have seen some unique things from them, I like that roam by the Ella inside of Armory. I really loved that setup. It was so dynamic. You had the cover, you have the three. Again, you're playing Ella in that spot. She's so powerful for that. And
well, after FaZe picking Chalet, I'd almost say in before they just ban it next time.
Wow. Did you?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Clean wall bang, a little bit of audio, and
all he heard, all he could have known was one bullet came through that wall. He responded in kind with a couple bullets of his own, and that's going to give Moringa a kill and put Wilkie down and ENCE in a 5v4. That's so dangerous. Kanto trying to roam inside. He doesn't have he's got barbed wire. He can't rotate out of this. There's no pre-made hole. So he's either a dead man or he brings one or two people with him. Now we've seen Kanto get 3 kills in quick succession from this position, but it's definitely not looking good as the flashbang comes out. It's going to blind Kanto. He's going to go for the run out in response, but Cameraman will be there to finish off Kanto. No time wasted. 1 flashbang used. And ENCE now in a 3-on-5, absolute domination for FaZe.
I mean, the second he stepped in there, he was dead.
He was dead, yeah.
He might get 1 or 2 kills.
Why didn't he have impact?
Never get out.
I really have to question the lack of impacts there.
I don't know. Maybe that lined up with Wilkie if he didn't die or something. Maybe there was a crossfire or something planned.
But he died like instantly.
Exactly. So that changes everything.
Yeah, and I mean, there's also, I mean, even if you're not going to use impacts for rotation there, have one of your shotguns make one in the early stage of the run, in the prep phase.
Yeah,
just
honestly,
send Uzi or Panari up there to make a hole.
With Ella, how good she is and how much she's worth late in terms of rotate stuff, playing impact nades on her just makes so much sense.
And here comes Moringa with the plant as the smoke cover comes down. Uno will deny the first plant, but quickly another one goes for it. And that's not going to happen either as Panari lays down another C4. But all the while, ENCE has been getting killed one by one from behind. A 2-pronged attack from FaZe. But Gohan's going to bite the dust as Panari goes for that retake. It's not going to happen. Cameraman with some excellent coverage. In the span of 10 seconds, FaZe collapsed perfectly without any flaws whatsoever. Always immediately followed up any death in their team with a response, whether it be somebody picking up the diffuser to go for it again, or somebody refragging onto anyone who got a kill from ENCE. That is some of the best coordination I've ever seen onto a basement hold. That attack was beautiful.
Only thing they died to was C4 that can't be dodged.
And yeah, exactly. It can't be dodged. There's nothing you can do about it. But what did they do every single time they got hit by C4?
Instant refrag.
Instant refrag, and more importantly, as soon as someone died, another attacker went in to pick up that diffuser to continue on what they were trying to do.
They kept the pressure on the diffuser, which means that they have to stay in their position so they can start flanking as well. They just keep pushing closer and closer and kind of just squeezing ENCE into positions that they don't want to be in. It's fine being behind that mirror window right up until there's a guy on your door and you're planting the diffuser.
Oh man, an unrelenting attack from FaZe. And now as we go on to defend the top floor, FaZe are looking so ridiculously strong.
I don't think this is a map thing anymore.
No.
I think this is just teamwork from FaZe.
Beautiful teamwork.
It had nothing to do with Chalet being a good map for ENCE. It has nothing to do about Oregon being a good map for FaZe. FaZe are just amazing right now.
Yeah. They have found themselves in a perfect serenity of moments where they have everything going in their favor. Their personal mentalities, their personal timings, their teamwork, the synergy, everything is going in favor of FaZe and nothing in favor of ENCE. See, the thing is, ENCE are executing as you would expect.
Yep.
They're doing a lot of the things that they've done before, and they have variations. There's some creative things they've been doing, some different things they've been doing, but all in all, it's just not happening.
I mean, you can even say, like, ENCE isn't making that many mistakes. FaZe is just
destroying,
winning everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how good your strat is, how good your teamwork is. When you come against something like FaZe where you push up, you lose your gunfight, and the second you've lost that one, another one's there to fight you again.
I mean, we've seen this kind of unrelenting playstyle before, especially from Latin America, but it seems refined and perfected here from FaZe, unlike anything I've ever seen out of the region.
If you look back at the first Invitational, there was some very aggressive plays as well, and some really, like, definitely stuff that made an impact, and you noticed it, but it wasn't as smooth. This just works.
It's like watching somebody cut butter with a hot knife. That's what's happening right now.
ENCE being the butter.
Yes, and ENCE being the butter. Yeah, it's biblical, honestly. And while, see, the thing is, what?
Ouch! And that is Yingon, one of the ones you really need for this big window take. Especially when you don't have a glass.
What a ridiculous shot from Moringa.
He didn't even consider, like, double tapping.
He was like, oh, no, okay, I can see it. Lined up, we're good. Just like that.
You know you're confident when you actually go for one taps here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just clear-cut confidence, like you said. Gohan, though, gonna get one more on Wilkie before getting Panari as well. What is this push from ENCE? Uno will reciprocate, taking out Gohan, but it's not gonna matter as Moringa gets Kanto. It's all Uno in a 1 versus 4. He's gonna have to ace to win this. It's not happening. Panari, though, gets a Claymore, so no ace, I guess, for Uno. Damn it, Panari, why you gotta be like that? Now it's a 1-on-3. He's going to be taking it slow. He has 30 seconds to retrieve the diffuser. Will he, though? He's got to hold this push from the white stairs, as well as expectations from Generator. Moringa, though, finishes off Uno, and that's it. We're on match point.
At this moment, ENCE must be so disheartened. It's like there is the comms on your team at this moment, right? Can you imagine?
Non-existent. This is the sort of moment where you go silent.
No amount of good in-game league can get the hype back in a team at this point.
No. No, absolutely.
You just hope that you get one round where everything lines up and this magical comeback starts happening.
You know, it's worth noting that at the beginning of this, it wasn't ENCE playing bad. It started to slip away from them. They clearly are in a completely defunct mindset right now.
Yeah, you can see the dip.
It was FaZe. It was just FaZe playing well. It was them
100%.
absolutely massacring, and they're just keeping it going and keeping it going and keeping it going and at this point, it's a war for domination. Will FaZe be able to get the 10-0, or will ENCE be able to fight back a little bit? Speaking of which, I was about to say Uno. Uno seems to be the only player on ENCE right now
that isn't phased about it.
That he can get kills, and And I know that that's definitely that's what you're talking about. He's not FaZe, because Uno's the sort of person in general that he doesn't get hit by these sort of things. These mental disables, like where you're just feel like you're on the back foot. Uno's, yeah, he'll keep going. He'll keep going. I talked to him yesterday after he did so well in the first match he ever played in Pro League against Era. And he was like, yeah, no, during the match, wasn't even thinking about it. It was just playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I talked to him quickly as well yesterday. He said he noticed at one point it was like 0-3 on the scoreboard, and he went, oh, that's not good.
I guess I'm going to retire.
And yeah, then he started focusing and played an amazing game.
Yeah. Well, so that last round from ENCE was very lackluster. They took a long time to try and push the site. Ultimately, when that push came out, they didn't accomplish anything. And now we're going to see how FaZe attacks this top floor.
I mean, at this point, if you're ENCE, you're fighting for that one round because you just don't want to get 10-0'd.
Yeah, if you get 10-0'd, it's just because it's embarrassing, you know?
It's funny, right? How big of a difference there is in getting 5-1'd or 5-0'd.
Mm-hmm.
As a team, it feels different getting 5-0'd. You felt like you couldn't get there.
Yeah, this might be... What? What was that shot? Uno goes down. The top frag for ENCE is no longer with us. What? Even the spectators got to acknowledge that one. And it looks like FaZe is just gonna tear through this. They're just gonna finish things off here as they attempt to clear underneath the bomb site. There's 2 minutes for them to work with, and not even a slight amount of resistance being put up by ENCE. It's
very rare that we see matches where it honestly doesn't look like a fair match.
It looks like ENCE is curled up on the floor right now.
They're taking a spank.
Yeah. It's hard to really say what's going wrong for ENCE, but everything's going right for FaZe. Again, like we talked about earlier, there's everything going in their favor. Their synergy is on fire today. There's nothing to really say that there's no major mistakes FaZe are making. None at all. And
they don't miss shots.
And then they're not missing shots, exactly. They're hitting every single one of them. This is the sort of match... See, the thing is, ENCE isn't a slouch. If you're new to Rainbow Six, ENCE is a team very formidable. They won the last season of Pro League. And they looked really strong going into this tournament with their debut match against Era. They beat them decisively. Wilkie will get a kill onto Cameraman, so there still is hope, I guess, in this round. FaZe only has 42 seconds, but I'm sure that they're going to be able to make that work for them as they have every other round work so far. Jaeger device going to be catching some of those smokes, so that's fantastic, but the Xcaro's coming out to clear out the rest of the ADS. Smokes go down. Gohan pushing in through the west window, gonna get caught in the gas grenade. Boonsy with a double kill using that gas. Panari elsewhere gets Astro. Mav in a 1 versus 3. Not gonna happen as he pushes up the white stairs. ENCE win 1 round, and you can see that they are very happy about that fact.
Is this where we see the comeback? Do we see 9 rounds in a row now?
This would be the single most incredible comeback in Rainbow Six history if they win this series. Right next to their comeback in the Season 6 finals.
Yep.
Yeah. They would have to get so many rounds in a row.
This, I mean, it seems impossible, but you never know.
Well, you called it here, so if they do manage to come back, I guess that's all thanks to you for calling it. I'm jinxing them into that comeback. Well, we'll see what happens. Laundry room, supply room, the defense from FaZe. I'm sure they're unfazed about that first round loss in this entire series.
Yeah, I think they're all right. They can probably take 1 or 2 rounds and still, you know, be hyped.
Definitely disappointed about not having a 10-0 though.
Yeah, that would probably have felt really, really good.
Yeah. So this, by the way, so we're talking about how ENCE is not a pushover team. To me, watching this match right now, watching FaZe Clan play they are right now, if they continue to play like this throughout the rest of the tournament, they will win outright the entire thing.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too weird to call, because if they can consistently play like this, if they at some point this disappears, this style of play disappears, and we've seen that happen before to teams, then it's still anyone's game. But if they play like this in every match after this, every subsequent match, they will win this tournament. They will win the Invitational.
Yeah, I truly believe that as well. And as you say, ENCE is in a slump right now. But ENCE in a slump is still a good pro team.
Yeah.
Everyone here in a slump is a good pro team. But FaZe, they're rolling over them. FaZe isn't just, they're not just playing good, they're playing legendary right now.
there's honestly not much to talk about other than how bad ENCE is playing and how well FaZe is playing. Now, the weird thing is, again, we could analyze the strategies that FaZe are putting forward, but they're not really that fleshed out. They seem to just be, hey, get a couple kills, don't miss your shots, and win. That's about what's happening from FaZe. I mean, that last round that ENCE managed to win, they got an early pick. When the push came in from West Window, yeah, of course the smoke is going to kill both of those people. Because what was that push from FaZe? That was overconfidence right there.
I mean, I've kept an eye on our top-down view of the map here for the entire game. I haven't seen anything from FaZe that is even remotely new or super special.
Yeah.
They just walk around with confidence. They walk upstairs that they shouldn't be able to win fights against, and they just tap them right away.
I mean, we've got 2 people sitting in laundry right now. Sure, the drop-down's not open, but they're just waiting. I think that even if the drop... Why is he...
Stay back.
The mute jammer stopped the
Yeah, but if you shoot them, they don't...
He missed.
Yeah, he missed. So if you shoot them, that's not going to make it so you can detonate them, Panara. You have to put them on the right corner. Okay, they got the mute jammer. That's good. Moringa going to take out Kento. Yeah, so you lost a player just to get the mute jammer. I don't know if that was really worth it. Moringa going to go back, and he's going to make it for some reason. The mirror window not yet placed inside of Closet, interestingly.
I definitely think Kanto is worth more than 1 mute jammer.
Yeah. No, Kanto's one of the best players in the world.
Yeah. You don't want to give him away for a mute jammer.
No. Still 50 seconds here for ENCE to execute, but they're taking it nice and slow. Have spotted out 2 of the immediate defenders who will watch this push. There is no mirror window for the Twitch drone to get, though, interestingly, so that's not actually going to help at all from Una. Boonsi pushing in, will not get the kill onto the player in the corner, will eventually get Moringa, 81 bullets aiding him there. Will he be conscious of this position from Gohan, though? Astro's going to get a double kill, Gohan's going to get Boonsi, and now it's all down to Panari. Even though the defuse has been planted, it's not unlikely he's going to be able to win this out. He will get 1 in this 1v4. That's Astro. 2 in this 1v4. That's Gohan. 2 more to find, though. Coming up the main stairs, Cameraman bites the dust. It's all Mav now. In a 1-on-1, he's going to go up the stairs. Will Panari hear this? Yes, he will. Gives away his barrel, though. He's going to lose the fight. And Mav, for the 2nd time, clutches onto ENCE and wins this map as well as this series. FaZe Clan, in absolutely dominating fashion, take down ENCE.
Gohan's sitting in that smoke, not moving a muscle for the entire duration of the plant, the attack, everything. He just waits until the smoke's gone and then he starts fighting. Then you know you're not stressed at all.
There is so little to say about that match other than
praise
wow,
FaZe.
Yeah, geez. Again, if this is the sort of